Young and the Restless predictions. Victor plays dirty games with Phyllis and Mariah cheated. Hey, Young and the Restless fans. I've got your weekly prediction edition. We're going to talk about Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, playing dirty games with Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, and Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, cheating. We've got predictions for Mariah and Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, for Victor and Phyllis, for Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, and Duma, for Victor and Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, and also for Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and Phyllis. Young and the Restless predictions. Did Mariah cheat on Tessa? Young and the Restless prediction number 1. Mariah cheated on Tessa. So, on Tuesday, spoilers have Tessa troubled by Mariah's behavior. And of course, Sharon was stunned last week when Mariah told her she did something awful on her trip, and it's something Tessa can never find out. That certainly sounds terribly bad. But then she told Sharon that she got drunk off her minibar. But when Mariah kept saying Tessa can't find out, then Mariah added a little more detail and said she did a terrible thing. And of course, Sharon comforted Mariah. But let's be real, pulling a few little airline bottles of vodka out of the minibar until you pass out is not a big deal that she has to hide at all cost from Tessa. So obviously, she got drunk and she did something. And I suspect Mariah cheated on Tessa. I could not even begin to guess if it was a man or a woman, but that's the kind of vibe this is giving. And once Mariah comes clean or Tessa finds out another way, she may turn around to Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei, for comfort. And I know a lot of people have suspected Tessa and Daniel may have a fling. I just don't see why / and are going that route. They only have one gay couple on the show, and the head writer twisting what has been a healthy relationship into something else may not be perceived very well. Does Mariah have anxiety and PTSD? It does make sense for Mariah to have a lot of anxiety and PTSD about the whole ordeal with Ian Ward, Ray Wise, and what he put her family through, what he did to Sharon and Heather Stevens, Vale Bloom, and Daniel. But for them to bring in a guy into Tessa and Mariah's relationship, the optics are bad. However, it could simply be that Daniel comforts Tessa and he's there as a friend just like she has been for him now. Now that's not to say that Josh Griffith, head writer, won't do this thing. I just don't think he should and I hope he doesn't, but I definitely think Mariah crossed a line and cheated. Victor Newman recruits Phyllis Summers for revenge plot. Our second prediction. Victor recruits Phyllis to do evil. So on Monday, Phyllis is raging at Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, in the spoilers. She catches them drinking champagne. Phyllis thinks they're celebrating Billy firing her. And then Phyllis is insisting that Billy's going to take her back. He says he's not. Then Phyllis spirals. She accuses Sally of plotting and planning this all along. Monday on Young and the Restless, Phyllis is threatening to make him pay. Sally seems a little alarmed. And of course, Phyllis is also spiraling because Daniel stepped away from her and Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, just left town. So, she's kind of ripe for the picking. And that leads into a spoiler for Thursday that says Victor strikes a nerve with Billy. So, it could be, you never know. Victor may offer Phyllis the chance to get revenge on Billy and Sally using his resources. I mean, heck, Victor might even hire Phyllis at Newman Media or something like that so that he can let her loose with attacks on Billy. Of course, Victor hates Billy Boy. He's always pleased to publicly shame him if he gets a chance. And if Victor gave Phyllis a platform to take aim at Billy, she could do all of Victor's dirty work for him because he definitely wants to destroy Billy and so does Phyllis. So we'll see. This could be a match made in hell. Lily Winters makes a shocking business deal with Aristotle Duma. Our third prediction. Lily pays a price for what she wants. So on Monday, Damian Keynes, Jermaine Rivers, chatting with Lily. They bond over losing their dads and different things. But bottom line, Lily keeps pressing on Damian to get her a meeting with Aristotle Duma. And Damian doesn't think his boss is going to meet her face to face. I mean, he has never met his boss face to face. So, I don't know why he thinks that she would, but she is a beautiful woman and you never know. And so, Lily presses Damian to set this meeting. On Wednesday's Young and the Restless, there's a spoiler that says Lily makes a shocking business deal. This may be about the Duma thing because Damian comes back to her and says, Duma wants to know what exactly you want to know, things like that. So Lily may agree to whatever terms and conditions that Duma sets in order for them to meet face to face. You know, he may want to meet Lily alone in a secluded location. He may want her to get on his private jet. So, I'm super excited. Billy Flynn is due any day now, and this could be when it happens. Victor weaponizes Adam Newman against the Abbotts. Our fourth Y&R prediction. Victor weaponizes Adam. So on Wednesday, Victor challenges Chelsea Lawson-Newman's, Melissa Claire Egan, loyalty. And on Friday, Chelsea is really struggling with her new job at Newman Media. And on Friday, Kyle Abbott's, Michael Mealer, ranting to Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, at Jabot the same day that Victor is hitting Kyle where it hurts. So I think soon we are going to see Victor just really losing it, lashing out uncontrollably at the Abbotts through every means he has possible. Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, planning to move in with Kyle, plus Billy hiring Sally away from Summer and her leaving for Italy. It just feels like every day Victor has more reasons to attack the Abbotts. And with Michael Baldwin, Christian Jules LeBlanc, pushing back on him, we've seen Victor completely enraged at him. So he may feel like he can't trust anybody except for a Newman to help him do this dirty work. So we could see Adam getting some marching orders from his dad. It may be a two-pronged attack on Kyle. First and foremost, Victor may tell him, "Do not show or sell your condo to Kyle because I don't want Claire moving in with him." And then the second part could be for Victor to tell Adam to use Newman Media to do hateful news stories, factual or not. Maybe some fake news on Kyle and Billy. One interesting angle I think would be if he didn't expose on them as Nepo babies because they definitely both are. Something basically disrespecting them as businessmen and saying that they just have been handed everything, because it's not that far always ruled Genoa City with power, legacy, and intimidation. But as winter drew in, something far darker simmered beneath the surface. Victor Newman, patriarch and master strategist, had grown restless. Too many people were making moves he didn't approve of. Phyllis, with her fearless manipulation, and the younger generation, especially Mariah, whose moral compass had started spinning wildly off course. And Victor? He hated when people stepped out of line. Phase 1. The red-headed target. Phyllis Summers strutted through the Grand Phoenix lobby wearing confidence like armor. She should have been flying high after rebuilding her life yet again, but she had that uneasy feeling, the one she only got when Victor Newman had her in his sights. That morning, she found a single envelope slid under her office door. No name. No logo. Just weight. Heavy with trouble. Inside lay photographs. High resolution, disturbingly intrusive. Shots of her meeting with a source in the park last week. That source had been feeding her intel about Newman Media's rumored financial vulnerabilities. And someone wanted her to know they were watching. Her grip tightened on the pictures until her nails bent. "Victor," she whispered. At that same moment across town, Victor leaned back in his leather chair with a subtle smirk as he watched a secured live feed. Phyllis dropped the photos onto her desk exactly as he predicted. He folded his hands calmly. "Checkmate?" "Not yet," he murmured. "But soon." Victoria entered without knocking. Her expression sharp. "Dad, what are you doing?" Victor slid her a knowing glance. "Teaching Phyllis Summers a lesson." Victoria rolled her eyes. "Why bother? She'll create her own downfall eventually." "She's too close to secrets," Victor countered. "Mine." Had Victor done worse to others? Yes. Would he do it again? He had just begun. The dirty game begins. Later that afternoon, Phyllis stormed into Newman Enterprises like a red tornado. "You think you can intimidate me with stalker-level photography?" she snapped. Victor didn't rise from his desk. He simply stared at her, ice cold. "My dear Phyllis," he said calmly, "you should be more concerned with what you actually did. Not that someone noticed." She swallowed hard. "I didn't do anything illegal, Victor." "You don't know what I know," he replied. The ambiguity was the punishment. Victor excelled in it. Phyllis backed up, her bravado cracking. She hated uncertainty. And he knew it. She left Newman Enterprises shaken. But she wasn't the only one Victor had plans for. Mariah's unraveling. Across town, Mariah Copeland paced inside Crimson Lights, chewing her thumbnail and staring at her phone. Tessa was supposed to be home from touring that afternoon but hadn't checked in. Again. They'd been distant lately. Days without calls, short text replies, missed video chats. Mariah told herself to trust Tessa, to remember their foundation. But her insecurities festered quietly, eating away at her peace. That's when she made her mistake. Cam, the new stage manager who'd recently struck up conversations with her at shows, had sent a message earlier. "Rough day? I can talk if you want." At first, she ignored it. Then she didn't. One coffee turned into a long conversation. Long conversation turned into laughter. And laughter, mixed with loneliness, turned into a moment that should never have happened. Back at her apartment that evening, Mariah stared at the mirror, horrified with herself. "I cheated," she whispered. "Oh my God, what have I done?" Her phone finally buzzed. Incoming video call. Tessa Porter read heart. Her heart dropped. She answered, forcing a smile. "Hey babe." Tessa looked exhausted but hopeful. "I'm coming home tonight. And Mariah, I've missed you. More than you know." Guilt crushed her like a wave. "Me too," Mariah whispered, her voice cracking. She didn't dare confess. Not yet. Victor connects the dots. What Mariah didn't know was that Victor's digital reach extended farther than most believed. He had eyes on everything that intersected with his family, and Mariah, connected to Sharon and the extended Newman orbit, was someone he'd monitored quietly. When a flagged security alert popped up on his tablet regarding a Copeland Cam Arden backstage private encounter, Victor didn't look surprised. "Another weak link," he muttered. Victoria looked over his shoulder. "Is that Mariah?" Victor gave a slow nod. "Tessa will return home, and chaos will follow. People are predictable." "Are you going to use it?" Victoria asked, half shocked. "If necessary," Victor replied. "Phyllis isn't the only one whose decisions affect my family's stability." Phyllis strikes back. Phyllis wasn't one to crumble. By the next morning, she had shifted from panic to strategy. Victor Newman wanted to intimidate her? Fine. She'd remind him who he was dealing with. But first, she needed answers. So she paid a visit to someone who hated Victor almost as much as she did. Adam.